Hi, my name is Susanna Mills, and I am the editor-in-chief of the American Philatelist. This month's issue is called Return to Stamp Basics. Back in 2022, we did the first ever Stamp Basics themed issue, where essentially we tried to go through all of the different elements that you would run into when handling an actual stamp: paper, gum, perforations, all of those different aspects. As it turns out, basics are so much more. We've got huge books called Fundamentals of Philately. There's so much information out in the world that could be considered basics. So this month we're returning to this rich area, and we found other things that we wanted to share with you. For example, we talk a lot about the condition of the stamp, these different condition factors, something as simple as tears, as aging, as fading colors that you might run into. We also talked a lot about expertising from different angles to see, what kind of alterations you might run into for different areas of collecting. And also just, what's the point of expertising in general, and why should you do it or maybe decide not to do it, and how to make that decision. This cover was especially fun to make because we wanted to essentially show a bunch of the different kind of condition issues that you might run into in your collection. Essentially, the idea is that the idea that's reiterated a lot in this issue is that it's really important to have a reference collection. So, for example, a lot of our experts say, well, it can be really difficult to tell between forged or altered stamps and genuine ones. So what you need to do is you get a bunch of cheaper versions of this genuine stamp that are, poor quality or not as beautifully centered, or they have some kind of cancellation that would make them not as desirable. And then you have those in your reference collection, and you can compare those genuine examples with a forged one and immediately see, oh, here's the forgery, but you don't need to break your budget by buying an extremely beautiful example of that stamp, if that makes sense. So that's the idea. We're showing an example for reference collection where one example has a tear, one example has pulled perforations, one example is like bent and warped from the glue. For some reason it's bent or warped. One example, the design is misaligned, so the design is off the side. One example has a stain, one is faded from being in the sunlight, one has a defacing cancellation. So we came up with that idea. We pulled a stamp from our reference collection, Scott 63, that we thought was a really nice example. Chad used Photoshop to reproduce all of these condition issues that you might run into. So on our cover we have all of them kind of spread out with the original Scott 63 in the center. And then when you turn to whatever page Tom Bienisek's article on condition is, you can actually learn about what we are trying to reproduce on the cover. I have several articles from this issue that I want to highlight. One, as I already mentioned, Tom Bienisek wrote a wonderful article about condition, and just found these gorgeous examples of these condition issues that he's talking about on examples from stamps across the world. So, it's not exclusive to US examples or a single country. You really get an idea of what they look like in a bunch of different scenarios. I also want to thank AJ Valenti for writing about paper. He is an expert on like the early development of papermaking in the US. And so this article that he wrote deals with, you know, these early paper mills and these improvements in technology, and then he shows examples of those improvements on postal history material. So it's a really cool look into like what was happening in early America at the time, as well as a philatelic history. I also want to share about a 3-part article that made it into this issue. Essentially, I reached out to several different authors and I gave them all the same assignment. Ostensibly, that was, what are the top 10 alterations that you run into in your area of expertising? So I spoke to someone from a US collector, a Great Britain collector, and Italy. And, you know, they all interpreted the assignment differently, so you're not going to see top 10 lists from all of them, but I think that just goes to show that their answers were very different. I think there's something to be said for the way that experts of different countries go about their work. There's not like a one-to-one translation, if that makes sense. Yes, so we have a new monthly column. Charles Upding approached me about doing a new column on postal history. So I think this came about where he was looking at a very complicated cover with a lot of different postal markings and thinking, how would someone who's not an expert approach translating this and understanding this, and what can I do to help people learn how to translate and understand these covers? So the concept of the column is that he will be looking into different areas of postal history, focusing on US, but not entirely, and helping do these translations, help people get the skills that they need in order to tackle something like that on their own. So the column's called The Letter Opener. I'm very excited for you to read the first one, and you can expect some more next month and the month after, etc. So I want to let everyone know that Summer Seminar is happening this year, if you haven't heard. It is June 12th through 16th. It is discounted right now to sign up until May 1st, the early bird registration discount. So now's the best time to get in there. The exciting thing is a lot of the instructors for this year are also regular authors in AP. A lot of them actually wrote for this issue. So Tom Bienasek, I mentioned already, he wrote the condition article. Wayne Youngblood, he is a regular at Summer Seminar, and he wrote in this issue. Ron Lesher, another regular, wrote on revenues. Charles Upding, who is writing the new column I mentioned, is one of our instructors for a general session. And then some other folks who also write regularly, but not for this particular issue, are also going to be there. Dan Piazza's teaching, and many more. So if you want to meet the people who you see in the pages of the AP and find out how nice they are, and I can attest that they are extremely nice, sign up for Summer Seminar, come meet them, come meet me, like I'll be here as well. Chad digitally reproduced all of these condition errors. Chad digitally. Chad used Photoshop to reproduce all of these